Hello friends, how are you? Welcome to Easy Learning Economics. This is Dr. Caval, PhD in Economics. Today we are learning about law of demand. As we know that the difference between demand, desire, need, and we are very much familiar between the differences. So now we are talking about law of demand. This law is a conditional law. It is a conditional law that states when price increases, quantity demanded decreases. When price decreases, quantity demanded increases, provided that other things remain same. Or ceteris paribus. This is the Latin term which means other things remain the same. What are those things that must remain same? Are income of a consumer does not change. Price of related goods means price of complement and substitute goods stands same. Number 3, taste and fashion remain same. Number of customers do not change. Number 5, there is no future knowledge regarding fluctuation of price. Advertisement expenses don't change. Value of money remain constant. So these are the assumptions on the basis of which the law of demand functions. If any of the non-price determinant of demand changes, the law of demand fails to operate. So any law can be explained through 4 ways. Either by description, like as we have explained here, that increase in price, decrease in quantity demanded, and decrease in price, increase the quantity demanded. So it's a way to explain in a descriptive way. Number second way to explain any law is the tabulation. Number second way is tabulation. So we can explain law by the help of table and by making a schedule of demand schedule, price and quantity demanded. We are taking an example for the price of tomatoes and quantity demanded for tomatoes in kgs in market. When the price is 50, the quantity demanded in market is 100 kg. When the price decreases from 50 to 40, the quantity demanded increases from 100 to 150 kg. As the price further declines from 40 to 30, the quantity demanded increases 200 kg, and when the price reaches to 20, the quantity demanded increases from 200 to 250 kg, and when the price reaches to 10, the quantity demanded also rises to 300 kg. So here we can see that when the price increases, the quantity demanded decreases, or when the price decreases, the quantity demanded increases. So there is an inverse relationship between price and quantity demanded. So this is the second way to explain the law of demand with the help of table. And third way, this table can be converted into a graph that would explain also the law of demand like this. This is the graph which we are making here. On x-axis, the quantity demand is explained in kg for tomatoes. On y-axis, the price of tomatoes is shown. So initially when the price is 50, the quantity demanded is 100. So we can make a like this to see that what is the form of the demand curve. When the price is 40, the quantity demanded increases from 100 to 150. When the price reduces from 40 to 30, the quantity demanded increases to 200. And when the price decreases from 30 to 20, the quantity demanded increases from 200 to 250. When the price decreases from 20 to 10, the quantity demanded increases to 300. So these are the different points A, B, C, D and E. By joining all these points, we can get a demand curve, and this is the DD. DD is a demand curve. It means it shows the inverse relationship. This is the third way to explain the law of demand by help of graph. And the fourth way, that the demand or the law of demand can be explained, or any law can be explained with the help of mathematical equation like that. Quantity demand of x is the function is equal to alpha naught plus alpha 1 is the income. Income is shown through y, and alpha 1 are the parameter that needs to be estimated by running a regression, and alpha 2 means the price of related goods, PRG, plus alpha 3 means the advertisement, and alpha 4 the test and fashion, so on so. So this is the fourth way to explain any law with the help of mathematics. So this is the 4 ways to explain the law of demand with the help in a description form, tabulation, through a graph, and through a mathematical form. Now it is important to understand the why demand curve is downward falling curve. As we see that here, the demand curve is DD is a downward falling curve. So it is important to understand that what are the reasons behind the downward falling curve. The one reason behind the demand curve downward falling curve is that there is an inverse relationship between price and quantity demanded. As price increases, quantity demanded decreases. This is the one reason. And other reason is that as the price decreases, the purchasing power of the consumer increases. With decreasing price, the purchasing power increases. As a result, consumer purchases more quantity of tomatoes. This is the income effect. And third reason is the substitution effect. Substitution effect means as the price decreases, the new customers will shift to tomatoes, and also the consumers makes the substitute with its expensive commodity, makes the tomatoes being substitute of an expensive commodity. So this is the third reason that why the demand curve is downward falling curve, because there is an inverse relationship between price and quantity demanded, and as the price decreases, the purchasing power of the consumer rises. As a result, that the consumer can purchase more quantity of goods, and due to substitution effect, due to decrease in price, new customers will shift towards that commodity. That's why the demand curve is downward falling curve. Now, after learning these things, it is important to know that what is the importance of law of demand, how law of demand in our daily life guides the producer equilibrium price, or how it guides to the government. So the law of demand has also important. The importance of law of demand can be understood that it helps to understand the law of demand helps to decide the equilibrium price. It helps in determining equilibrium price through demand and supply forces. Equilibrium price. It also guides the producers. It also guides producers to analyze its future demand on the basis of the change in quantity demanded due to change in price. Number third, it also guides government. It guides government to raise tax. On the basis of the elasticity or inelasticity of demand. When the government, as the government knows that when the price increases, the quantity demanded decreases. So it's the time the government should understand on that product, the government should not levy or impose the tax, more tax, because by imposing more tax, the price will go up. As a result, the quantity demand will goes down. As a result, the revenue for the government will also decline. So it also guides the government to rise or not to rise the tax. So, and it can also be explained that with the demand function, like that, here is the demand function. Quantity demand of X. The demand function is given, let's suppose 50 minus 2p. So if you are asked that what would be the quantity, what would be the quantity demanded when the price is 5 rupees and 10 rupees. So the quantity demand function is given. So quantity demand, as we know here, is the X is equal to 50 minus 2p. So 50 as the first we have to define at this price what would be the quantity demanded in the market when the price is 50, keeping in view that this demand function 50 minus 2, the price is 5. By putting the value of 5, we can easily understand that what would be the quantity demanded when the price is 5. 50 minus 10, it means that 40 quantity would be demanded in market when the price is 5, and the other price is 10. We have to determine what would be the quantity demanded. So demand function is given that 50 minus 2p. By putting the value 50 minus 2p, price is 10. So the quantity demanded for that product of X, that would be what when the price is 10 or whatever the price, you can easily calculate. 50 minus 20, so 30 would be the quantity demand. We can draw also the quantity demand from the demand function. So we can conclude that what are the exceptions when this law of demand will not work. As the law of demand functions that when the price increases, the quantity demanded decreases, and when price decreases, quantity demanded increases. This law will not work when any of the non-price determinant of the demand will change. For example, when the exception, they are known as exceptions to the law of demand, the law of demand will not work when any of the determinant of the demand will change other than price. So I hope this is the law of demand would be clear, that I can summarize the law of demand. The law of demand is the conditional law. It is based on some assumptions that income of the consumer does not change, price of related goods remains same, and the taste and preferences remain same, and the value of money remains same, and consumer is rational by its behavior, and advertisement expenditure remains same. So on the basis of these assumptions, law of demand states that increase in price, decrease in quantity demanded, and decrease in price, increase the quantity demanded. And this can be explained with the help of graph, table, and mathematical equations. And why the demand curve is downward falling curve? Because demand curve is downward falling curve because of substitution effect, income effect. And when the price is high, some of the consumers couldn't purchase at the high price due to decrease in price. New consumers make substitute the commodity. As a result, the demand curve is downward falling curve. And the law of demand also the quantity demanded can be known through our demand functions. So it would be clear to all of you. Thank you for watching.